Maria Vale, I'm so glad to have you here, and welcome to Virtually Apollycon. Thank you so much, though I have to admit I'm a little nervous. I don't have a lot of experience of being interviewed with major news media. Nothing to be nervous about. This will be a lot of fun. First, I understand that you're doing a giveaway. Funny you should ask. I'm giving away signed editions of all my books, plus various kinds of swag. The winner will be picked at random from commenters, and I'm afraid it's US only. Just between us, is Maria Vale your real name? No, I originally thought I'd go with Maria Valentine because Valentine is my mother's maiden name, and nothing says romance like Valentine. But my publisher pointed out that Valentine was not going to fit on any book spine, so we shortened it to Vale. Tell me how you got into writing romance. Writing pretty late. I was 57 when The Last Wolf was published, but I'd been reading romance for a long time. I'd always been a tomboy, climbing trees, playing pirates, etc., and my grandmother wanted to cure me of that. So when I was 12, she bought a paper bag filled with Barbara Cartlands at the church sale. I think she hoped it would make me more feminine, more ladylike. I went back into my tree, I inhaled those 20 books, and now all I remember was a Russian hussar and the shining lights of a ballroom in St. Petersburg. The next weekend she bought another bag, but at the bottom there was a secret. Under all those Barbara Cartlands was a Gothic novel set I don't know where, I think Wales or maybe Cornwall. It was dark and haunting and gray, and there was a heroine who takes her own virginity during a sex on the page Saturnalia. And I have to say, that was my gateway to hard romance. And I have never looked back, and I have never looked at the dowdy Midwestern women in my grandmother's Congregationalist church in the same way again. They're all historicals, so why did you choose to write about werewolves? Actually, I chose not to write about werewolves. To me, a werewolf means a man-wolf, and that's the way they usually are. It's a man who's trying to keep his most bestial impulses under wraps. My idea was to write a story where the wolf comes first, where the human form is simply a tool that they use to protect their pack, their land, and their sacred wild selves. Interesting. And what kind of research did you do? I did a lot of research on wolves. They are the most social creatures. They have defined hierarchies. They are one of the few species that cross-foster, which means that they will adopt pups who are not their own. And I used that in the pack to show pups being cared for by the entire Great North. That's the name of the pack. I also imagined that the pack would be very secretive and cautious for a good reason. I imagined that a community like that would be conservative with their own laws, their own myths, and even their own language. You mean you made up a language for them? Now that would be way too much work. I majored in medieval studies in college, and I still remember the first day of Old English when my teacher recited Cadman's hymn. There was something about it with the rolling cadences and the rough sounds that sounded like a wolf's howl. So I just adopted that. This is just on background. It's for me. I would never use it. So this is just between us. This is just to give you a sense of what I think it sounds like. Nue shulan hrean, heo von richus weald, meatodes mechte, an his modithank, weark wulderfadre, swa he wondrus juak, ecke drichten. or Ansialda. You now have 3 books in your series: The Last Wolf, A Wolf Apart, and Forever Wolf. You've gotten 2 Rita nominations. You've made 5 Best of the Year book lists. So, what's next? I finished book 4 of the series, and that will be coming out August 25th. So now I'm furiously working on book 5. Will you keep writing about werewolves? I love writing these books, but there are other monsters I'm interested in too. Why the fascination with monsters? I think because my childhood was spent moving from place to place. Sometimes I spent a year in an apartment, sometimes less. I rarely had time to belong or fit in. And so I think I feel a natural affinity for monsters who I see as the ultimate outsiders. This of every writer. What is your writerly superpower? Superpower? It's got to be napping. I worked at a bakery and I was going to school full time. That was my senior year of college. I woke up at 2 o'clock in the morning to go to work. I could fall asleep anywhere, in any position, for any length of time, and I have kept that ability. I have a lot more super weaknesses, like Cheetos and salt licorice. Is there anything about writing that was unexpected? I think the most interesting thing to me has been what joy I get from actually meeting readers. I think of myself as a real introvert, but I've loved meeting people at conferences and at book signings. We talk about books, not just my own, and we talk about each other's lives. And I think this is one of the reasons I'm so upset to be missing the physical Apollycon. I just really hope that I'll have another chance. I'll put in a word with the boss. Do you have a dog?